Welcome back to Mystic English, where we don't just learn English, we grow. Through stories that inspire the heart and shape the soul. Today's story is about a man who never raised his voice, never chased money, never looked for fame, and yet, the whole nation loved him. He was born in a poor fisherman's house, but one day, he became the President of India, not through politics, but through character, simplicity, and silent power. This is the story of Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, a man who built rockets, inspired generations, and taught the world how to dream, with feet still touching the ground. This is not just a history lesson, it's a journey that will teach you English, and something even more important, how to live with dignity, discipline, and purpose. Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 in a small town called Rameswaram in the southern part of India. His father, Jainulabdin, was a boat owner. He wasn't rich. In fact, their family was quite poor. They lived in a simple house made of wood and clay with no electricity in the early days. But what Abdul Kalam had was something far more valuable than money. He had values. His father was wise, honest, and spiritual. He taught Kalam the importance of faith, discipline, and helping others. His mother, Ashiama, was full of love and generosity. Even when the family didn't have much, she made sure that no guest ever left hungry. Every morning, Abdul Kalam would wake up at 4 a.m. He would go to the mosque with his father and then help deliver newspapers to support the family income. Imagine a small boy walking barefoot on sand streets with a bundle of newspapers under his arm, not because someone told him to, but because he wanted to help. Even then, he was quiet, focused, and full of curiosity. His favorite subjects in school were mathematics and science. He would sit under a lamppost and read for hours because there was no light at home. He didn't complain. He didn't blame anyone. He just worked harder. One day, his science teacher, Sivasubramania Iyer, saw his spark. The teacher told Kalam, "If you want to become something big in life, you must dream big. Dreams are not what you see when you sleep. Dreams are what keep you awake." Those words went deep into young Kalam's heart, and from that day, he began to dream. Not of money, not of luxury, but of doing something for the country, for people, for peace. After completing school, Kalam went to St. Joseph's College in Tiruchirappalli, and later to Madras Institute of Technology to study aerospace engineering. It wasn't easy. The fees were high, the studies were tough, but Kalam didn't quit. He studied late at night, did part-time work, and earned scholarships through merit. At Madras Institute of Technology, he chose a project to design a small aircraft. It was difficult, but he and his team worked with broken parts, reused materials, and sheer imagination. When the professors saw the final model, they were shocked. It actually flew. That project gave Kalam confidence, not just in science but in himself. After graduation, Kalam joined the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. But his life changed completely when he moved to ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization. At ISRO, Kalam worked on something that had never been done before in India, launching a satellite rocket into space. His team had little experience, limited resources, and very little support from outside. But they had faith. And they had Kalam. The year was 1979. India was ready to launch its first satellite vehicle, SLV-3. The whole country was watching. This project was led by Dr. Abdul Kalam. He had worked on it for years. Sleepless nights, endless calculations, tests, retests, thousands of small parts, all depending on each other. And then, the rocket was launched. But just 317 seconds into the flight, something went wrong. The system failed. The satellite fell into the Bay of Bengal. It was a failure, a big one. The media was waiting outside. The country was disappointed. Fingers were being pointed. But something extraordinary happened. Dr. Satish Dhawan, the chairman of ISRO, stood beside Abdul Kalam in front of the press. He took full responsibility for the failure and said, "We will succeed next year." And they did. In 1980, India successfully launched its satellite into space. Dr. Kalam became a national hero. But what touched people more than the rocket was his humility. He didn't say, "Look what I did," he said, "Look what our team did." He gave credit to others and took the blame himself. That's what made him not just a great scientist, but a great human being. In the 1980s and 90s, India needed strength. They were surrounded by threats. Their defense systems were weak. But Abdul Kalam had a dream: to make India self-reliant in defense. He worked on developing missiles that could protect the nation. The names became famous: Agni, Prithvi, Akash, Trishul. He led the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. People began to call him the Missile Man of India. But do you know what Kalam said when someone praised him? He said, "It is not my name that matters. What matters is that the country is strong." He never married. He had no children. Because for him, India was his family. The youth were his children. And science was his prayer. By the late 1990s, India was growing fast, in education, in science, in spirit. But on the global stage, India was still seen as a country that was peaceful, but not powerful. Dr. Abdul Kalam didn't want war. He never believed in violence, but he strongly believed that true peace only comes when you are strong enough to defend it. That's when the government of India decided to secretly test nuclear weapons, not to attack, but to send a message. India will not harm anyone, but India cannot be ignored anymore. The mission was named Pokhran 2. The location? A desert in Rajasthan. The team, scientists, soldiers, and engineers, all working quietly, without a word to the outside world, and the leader behind it all was Dr. Abdul Kalam. He stayed hidden. He wore disguises. He worked late nights in underground bunkers. No media knew. No foreign country suspected. Everything was done with precision, silence, and prayer. It wasn't easy. The world's eyes were watching. Even one mistake could cause a political disaster. But Kalam wasn't afraid. He told his team, "We are not doing this for glory. We are doing this for the future of our children." And then, on 11th May 1998, the desert shook. 5 nuclear tests, one after another, all successful. For a few seconds there was silence. Then the scientists cheered. Some cried, some hugged each other. They had done it. India had become a nuclear power, with dignity, with silence, and without fear. The next day, the Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, walked to the microphone and said words the world would never forget. Today, India is a nuclear weapons state. We have a big hand behind this achievement, and that hand is Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. But where was Kalam? He was not on TV. He was not giving interviews. He was not celebrating in front of the cameras. He was in the background, quietly packing his bag to return to his research center. Because he believed the work is more important than fame. In 2002, something unexpected happened. Dr. Abdul Kalam was chosen to become the 11th President of India. He wasn't a politician. He had never joined any party. He didn't campaign. But everyone wanted him, because everyone trusted him. When he became president, he didn't change. He still wore his simple suit. He still carried his books and files himself. He met children, students, farmers, and scientists with the same respect. He opened the doors of Rashtrapati Bhavan, the president's house, to the common people. He answered every letter personally. He said, "I am not here to rule, I am here to serve." And he truly served, not with power, but with love. Dr. Kalam completed his term as president in 2007. After that, he didn't retire. He didn't rest. He became even more active, visiting schools, colleges, and science fairs. He believed in one thing: the future of India lies in the hands of the youth. He would speak to students not just about science, but about life. Dream big. Work hard. Don't fear failure. If you want to shine like the sun, you must burn like the sun. He wrote books like Wings of Fire, Ignited Minds, and India 2020. These weren't just books. They were blueprints for becoming a better human being. Wherever he went, students lined up to take photos, shake hands, or just touch his feet. He never said no. He always smiled, as if each child in the crowd was his own. On 27 July 2015, Dr. Kalam was in Shillong, giving a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management. The topic of his lecture was creating a livable planet. He was speaking with passion, as always, about protecting Earth, about duty, about dreams. And then, while speaking to the youth, he collapsed on stage. A heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital. But the heart that had loved 1 billion people had taken its final beat. He passed away, doing what he loved, teaching young minds. The news broke the nation's heart. There were no political debates, no arguments, no noise, only silence. A silence filled with love, respect, and tears. Dr. Abdul Kalam did not leave behind big houses, fancy cars, or money. He left behind a simple house in Rameswaram, a few books and papers, and a legacy that millions still carry in their hearts. His life taught us that you don't have to be born rich to do great things. You don't need power to be respected. You don't need to speak loudly to be heard by the world. You just need discipline, humility, and a dream that is bigger than yourself. So, if you're watching this and wondering, will I ever succeed? Will anyone notice my efforts? Is it too late for me? Then remember Kalam. He walked barefoot to school. He studied under streetlights. He was rejected for being average many times. But he didn't stop. He built missiles. He built mines. He built a country's faith in itself. You don't have to be him, but if you take even one lesson from his life, to be honest, to work hard, to dream for others, to stay humble, then you're already walking on the path of greatness. This story was not just for learning English, it was for learning how to live with purpose. If you felt something, if your heart moved even a little, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mystic English, where every story teaches you English and something far deeper. Comment below. I will follow Kalam's path with simplicity and strength.